Hello everyone. So, today we will solve another tangent problem. Today we will consider tangent plane Couette flow. You know the steady plane Couette flow results where the velocity distribution is linear, but if the fluid is stationary at t is equal to 0 bounded by two infinite parallel plates, and suddenly the upper plate starts moving with a constant velocity u, then obviously inside the fluid domain from 0 velocity to the linear profile at larger time t tends to infinity, where it becomes linear, this velocity profile will change. So, we want to find this velocity distribution which is tangent with time. So, let us consider a Newtonian liquid is bounded by these two parallel plates separated by a distance h. X is the axial direction and y is measured from the bottom plate, and you know that at steady state this is the velocity profile which is linear. Here obviously it is purely shear driven flow and we are neglecting the pressure gradient and the gravity. So, now we want to find that at t is equal to 0 fluid is stationary, and at t is equal to 0 plus this plate starts moving with a constant velocity u. So, what will be the temporal evolution of the velocity inside the fluid domain we want to find. So, you know that in this case pressure gradient and the gravity are 0. So, obviously you know the governing differential equation. So, we can write the governing equation as del u by del t is equal to nu, which is your fluid kinematic viscosity, del 2 u by del y square, where u is function of y and t. So, in this case we cannot have the similarity solution. So, we need to use some other method. So, first let us see the boundary conditions. So, boundary conditions are at y is equal to 0, which is your bottom plate, it is stationary, u is equal to 0, okay, for t greater than equal to 0, and upper plate at y is equal to h, it is moving with a constant velocity u, okay, for t greater than 0. Okay. So, obviously you can see that once it starts moving, the velocity inside the fluid domain will start changing from 0 to some finite value. So, now what is the initial condition? Obviously at t is equal to 0, everywhere the fluid is stationary. So, u is equal to 0 in the range of y 0 to h. So, if you see the governing equation, this governing equation is linear and homogeneous. This is linear and homogeneous. So, in this case actually we can use separation of variables method. So, another way to solve this partial differential equation using separation of variables method, where we can convert this partial differential equation to set of ordinary differential equations. So, now we have to know when can we use separation of variables method. So, you can see here the method of separation of variables is applicable to steady two dimensional problems or one dimensional tangent problem. Transient problem or three dimensional problem as well, if and when the governing differential equation is linear and homogeneous. In our case, governing equation is linear and homogeneous. One of the directions of the problem is expressed by a homogeneous differential equation subject to homogeneous boundary conditions, that is known as the homogeneous direction, while the other direction is expressed by a homogeneous differential equation subject to one homogeneous and one non-homogeneous boundary condition, that is known as the non-homogeneous direction. We will discuss about what is homogeneous boundary condition. And length in homogeneous direction should be finite, and the geometry of the region must be described by an orthogonal coordinate system. So, in our case you can see that we have a Cartesian coordinate system, and also in the length in y direction is finite, and now we need to discuss about the boundary conditions. So, a boundary condition is homogeneous when an unknown function or its derivative or any linear combination of its function and its derivatives vanishes at the boundary. That means, say you can have for any variable, let us say general variable phi, if phi is equal to 0 at the boundary, or del phi by del n normal to this boundary, this is 0. So, you can see this is your Dirichlet condition. This is obviously Neumann condition, which is homogeneous, that means the gradient is 0, or linear combination of these two, that means alpha phi plus beta del phi by del n is equal to 0. So, this is kind of mixed type boundary condition. So, you can see these boundary conditions are known as homogeneous boundary condition. Now, before using separation of variables method, first we need to check whether the governing equation is linear and homogeneous. Second, we have to check the boundary conditions. So, in one direction it should be homogeneous boundary condition, and another direction it may be non-homogeneous boundary condition. And another thing is to check the in homogeneous direction the length should be finite. If we consider our boundary conditions, you can see that in y direction u is equal to 0 and u is equal to u, that means this is your non-homogeneous boundary condition, right. So, y direction is not homogeneous direction, and in t it is marching. So, obviously, you cannot consider as a homogeneous direction. So, we have to choose y direction as homogeneous direction with suitable transformation of the boundary condition, or by using some superposition technique of the problem. Now, let us discuss about another important property that is known as orthogonal property. So, this we will use while solving this problem using separation of variables method. So, you can see definition of orthogonal function. Given an infinite set of functions, that is say g1, g2, gn, gm, maybe it is function of x. The functions are termed orthogonal in the interval a to b if integral a to b gmx gnx dx is equal to 0 for m not equal to n. Okay. For m not equal to n, this integral will give 0, then you can say that gm and gn are orthogonal functions. If f(x) denotes an arbitrary functions, consider the possibility of expressing it as a linear combination of the orthogonal functions. Let us say f(x) we can represent as summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity Cn Gnx, where Cn is the coefficient. So, if you expand it, you can write f(x) is equal to C1 G1x for n is equal to 1, for n is equal to 2 you can write C2 G2x, similarly C3 G3, and if you put n is n, so Cn Gnx, and plus it will continue to infinity. Okay. So, now what we will do, now you multiply both sides with Gnx and integrate over a to b. So, you can see now in the left hand side we are multiplying with Gnx and we are integrating a to b. Similarly, in the right hand side also you multiply and integrate. So, C1 is coefficient, it is not function of x, so you can take it outside. integral a to b g1x gnx dx plus c2 now integral a to b g2x gnx dx plus cn a to b gnx square dx plus it will continue, and let us say for m cm a to b gmx gnx and plus it will continue to infinity. So, now if you look here that if you the gmx and gnx are orthogonal function, then obviously for m not equal to n this will become 0. So, in the right hand side you can see that g1x and gnx this will become 0 because it is m not equal to n, right, m not equal to n because m is equal to 1. So, this will become 0. Similarly, this term will become 0, but here as m is equal to n, so it will be gn square. So, this term will remain and this term also will become 0 and all other terms except this term will become 0 in the right hand side. Okay. So, now from here you can see you can find this constant Cn. So, Cn you can write now integral a to b fx gnx dx divided by integral a to b gn square x dx. So, here we could find the constant Cn using this orthogonal property. So, when we will solve this problem using separation of variables method, this expression will use if those functions are orthogonal to each other. Now, we have seen that our governing equation is linear and homogeneous, but boundary conditions are not homogeneous in y direction. So, we need to use some suitable superposition technique such that boundary conditions becomes homogeneous in y direction. So, which way we will do it? You can see in this particular case you know the steady state solution, okay, steady plane flow solution that is linear profile. Now, if you subtract a tangent velocity profile from this steady state velocity, then you can get tangent solution of this plane flow. In this case you can see that if you have velocity profile, let us say this is your final steady state velocity profile, okay, and it is let us say u bar y and t infinity at a larger time, obviously it will become steady state. So, this is your velocity profile. Now, we will subtract one velocity from here such that you will get at any time the tangent velocity profile. So, let us say this is your velocity profile, okay, at any t, okay. So, u y t, okay. So, this is we want to find tangent velocity profile and this is the steady state velocity profile u bar. So, you can see that from the steady state profile, if you subtract this portion, then obviously you will get the velocity profile at any time t, and this is your tangent velocity, okay, and this tangent velocity obviously you have to subtract it, okay. So, let us say this is your u prime y t, okay. So, u prime y t will become 0 when t tends to infinity, so that you get the linear velocity profile, and you can see that obviously this u prime will be equal to u bar at t is equal to 0. So, that you will get 0 velocity profile at time t is equal to 0. So, now we are representing now the velocity profile which you are interested to find, tangent velocity profile, as plane flow velocity profile u bar y infinity, t tends to infinity, that means at larger time. So, this is the steady state solution of plane flow minus u prime y t, and this is the transient some velocity profile which you want to subtract with the steady plane coed flow velocity profile. So, you can see this is your solution from steady plane coed flow. Okay. So, you please try to understand what we are doing. So, we are interested to find this velocity profile u y t. Okay. Now, we know the steady state plane coed flow velocity profile which is linear. Okay. So, that is your u bar y infinity and this is the velocity profile. Now, we are subtracting one tangent velocity profile, okay, from this steady state profile and we want to get the final velocity profile. So, this u prime obviously at steady state or at t tends to infinity, obviously u prime y t will be 0, right. If it becomes 0, then you will get linear velocity profile. Okay. And you can see at t is equal to 0, obviously u bar y t will be u prime y infinity, right. So, that you will get 0, right, u is equal to 0. So, with this now you can see this solution already you know. Now, we need to find the solution of this velocity profile u prime using separation of variables method. So, now let us write down the boundary conditions for each individual problem. So, as the governing equation is linear, you can write this velocity profile using this superposition of two velocity profile. Okay. One is steady state velocity profile minus one tangent velocity profile and that you can write as the governing equation is linear. Okay. So, now let us write the governing equation. So, del u by del t is equal to nu del 2 u by del y square. It is our original governing equation with boundary conditions at y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0 and at y is equal to h, u is equal to u. Okay. Now, you know the problem of steady plane coed flow. Okay. What will be the boundary condition for that? You can see from here if you write del u by del t, okay, left hand side, right hand side what will be that? So, obviously you can see this is steady state, right. So, it will be 0 minus del u prime by del t, okay, and del 2 u by del y square. So, in the right hand side you can see you can write d 2 u bar because this is function of y only, right, divided by d y square minus del u prime del 2 u prime by del y square. Okay. This is we know that it is a solution from the steady plane coed flow. So, we are writing the ordinary differential. Now, if you put it in this equation, okay, so what you will get? So, you will get minus del u bar del u prime by del t is equal to nu d 2 u bar by dy square and you will get minus nu del 2 u prime by del y square. Okay. So, now as the governing equation is linear, so we will split into two problems. One is this equal to 0 d 2 u bar by dy square is equal to 0 because this is the governing equation for this problem we know steady plane coed flow, and if you put it 0 then another equation you will get del u prime by del t is equal to nu del 2 u prime by del y square. Okay. Now, we have split it into two problems. One is steady plane coed flow, okay, and this is your tangent problem. So, now if you write the boundary conditions for these, so you know at y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0 and at y is equal to h, u is equal to u. So, obviously, this is the solution. You know that u bar will be u y by h. It is a linear profile, right. This solution we know, we have already solved. Okay. So, now what will be the boundary condition for this tangent problem? So, if you see that this is your u is equal to u bar minus u prime, right. So, already you know that y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0. So, if u is equal to 0 and here these are u bar is equal to 0, because this is the steady velocity profile. Now, if u bar is 0, u is equal to 0. So, obviously, you can see that at y is equal to 0, u prime will be 0. So, from here you can see u is equal to 0 from here, u bar is equal to 0 from here. So, obviously, u prime will be 0, and at y is equal to h, what will be the u prime? You can see here, from here you can see left hand side u is equal to u, and here u bar is equal to u. So, u prime is equal to 0. Now, let us discuss about the initial condition. So, this is the steady state problem, right. So, we do not have any initial condition. For this problem, original problem, we have at t is equal to 0, u is equal to 0. What will be the initial condition for this problem? Okay. So, initial condition from this you can see at t is equal to 0, u is equal to 0. So, what will be the u prime? U prime will be just u bar. Okay. You can see u prime will be u bar. So, at that is the initial condition, and that u bar is u into y by h. Okay. So, this you have to see that from this expression, as it is a steady state problem. So, u bar is u y by h. So, that we are putting here. So, the initial condition for this tangent problem, it will be u prime is equal to u bar, which is nothing but u y by h. Okay. So, that is the initial condition for this tangent problem. Now, you check for this problem we have the solution, only we need to solve this problem using separation of variables method. Now, you check the governing equation is linear and homogeneous, and now boundary conditions we have also made homogeneous. So, this is your homogeneous direction, okay, because u prime is 0 at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to h. So, this is your homogeneous direction. So, we can use separation of variables method. Now, let us solve this tangent problem and find the velocity profile u prime, and we have seen that the governing equation is linear and homogeneous, and boundary conditions we have also made homogeneous with this superposition method. So, now our problem is del u prime by del t is equal to nu del to u prime by del y square subjected to boundary conditions at y is equal to 0, u is equal to 0, and at y is equal to h, u is equal to 0, sorry, these were prime, and initial condition at t is equal to 0, u prime is equal to u y by h. Now, we will use separation of variables method. Okay. So, now we can use separation of variables method, as the governing equation is linear and homogeneous, and boundary conditions are homogeneous in y direction and it is finite direction. So, we will find the solution u prime as product of two solutions, as y which is function of y only and tau which is function of t only. So, you know that in separation of variables method we write the solution as product of two individual solution, and where y is function of y only and tau is function of t only. Now, we will write the partial differential equation to two ordinary differential equation using separation of variables method. So, now you can see that you can write del u prime by del t is equal to y d tau by dt, because tau is function of t. So, we can write ordinary derivative, and similarly del 2 u prime by del y square you can write tau d2 y by dy square, right. So, this is also ordinary derivative we can write as y is function of y. So, if you put it in this governing equation, then you can write y d tau by dt is equal to nu tau d2 y by dy square. Now, write left hand side where it is function of tau only, d tau by dt, and right hand side we will write as function of y only. So, now we have separated the variables, right. You can see that left hand side is function of t only, and this is the function of y only. Okay. So, we have separated the variables. Okay. Now, you can see this is function of t only and this is function of y only. So, it will be equal to some constant, okay. But what will be the sign of this constant, okay, because left hand side depends on only t, right hand side depends on only y. So, it should be equal to some constant, okay. So, let us say lambda square, and what will be the sign of this lambda square, plus or minus. To find what should be the sign of this lambda square, there are some guidelines. So, you can see the sign of lambda square is chosen such that the boundary value problem of the homogeneous direction leads to characteristic value problem. A boundary value problem is a characteristic value problem when it has particular solution that are periodic in nature. So, you can see one example of characteristic equation d2y by dx square plus lambda square y is equal to 0. So, this is the characteristic equation, and the solution of this you know y is equal to c1 sin lambda x plus c2 cos lambda x, where c1 c2 are integration constants. So, you can see that we have to choose the value of lambda square such a way that in the homogeneous direction we should get characteristic equation in this form, so that we should have a solution which is periodic in nature. Okay. So, for this problem now see that we have to choose lambda square such a way that in y direction, because y direction is homogeneous direction. So, in y direction we should get characteristic value problem. That means, the solution of that ordinary differential equation should give solution as periodic in nature. Okay. So, now you can see that we have to choose minus lambda square, then only we will get the characteristic value problem in homogeneous direction, which is y in this case. So, now let us write again 1 by nu tau d tau by dt is equal to 1 by y d2 y by dy square. Now, we are choosing minus value, right, because minus we are choosing, so that in y direction we will get the characteristic value problem like d tau by dt we will write as minus lambda square nu tau, and what is the solution of this? Solution you know, right, tau will be some constant c naught e to the power minus lambda square nu t. Okay. So, this is the one solution, and in the homogeneous direction now we are getting the ordinary differential equation as d2 y by dy square. If you take in the minus lambda square y in the right hand side, then you will get lambda square y is equal to 0. Okay. So, you can see that this is the characteristic value problem. So, this solution will give you the periodic solution. Okay. So, that means we can write y is equal to c1 sin lambda y plus c2 cos lambda y. Okay. So, you can see now we got the solutions tau and y. We need to find C naught, C 1 and C 2, which we can find from boundary conditions and initial condition. Now, we can write the solution u prime, which is function of y and t, as product of two solutions C naught e to the power minus lambda square nu t and C 1 sin lambda y plus C 2 cos lambda y. Okay. So, now apply the boundary conditions. Okay. So, if we apply the first boundary condition at y is equal to 0, u prime is equal to 0. Okay. So, if u prime is 0, so you can see at y is equal to 0. So, left hand side will be 0. So, it will be C naught e to the power minus lambda square nu t, this cannot be 0, and we have C 1. Now, sin lambda 0 is 0, right. So, it will be 0 plus cos 0 is 1. So, C 2 into 1. So, you can see from here left hand side is 0, C naught cannot be 0. So, C 2 must be 0. So, C 2 is 0, and apply another boundary condition at y is equal to h, u prime is equal to 0. Okay. So, if you apply this boundary condition, then you will get left hand side is 0, here you will get C naught e to the power minus lambda square nu t, and you will get C 1 into sin lambda h. Okay. And from here you can see that C naught cannot be 0, C 1 cannot be 0, then you will get 0 solution of this, right. So, this is not physical. So, sin lambda h must be 0. So, sin lambda h is equal to 0. Now, here you can see that for different values of lambda you might get this sin lambda h is equal to 0, right. So, we can write that sin lambda h is equal to sin n pi, okay, where n varies from 1 to infinity. So, you can see 0 you will get for sin n pi, right. N is equal to 0, anyway it is 0. Okay. So, for n is equal to 1, 2, all you will get, right. Sin 0 is 0. So, for n is equal to 0, for other also you will get. So, n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. But n will not write as 0, because if n is 0, then you can see that lambda will be 0, and if lambda is 0, then you will not get any solution. That means, for n is equal to 0, u prime is 0, right. For n is equal to 0, u prime is 0. So, we will not write n is equal to 0. So, we will put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, for other values you will get, and you can write now lambda n h is equal to n pi, because for different values of n you will get different values of lambda n, and n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. So, you can see the value of lambda n now we have found, which is your n pi by h. Okay. So, you can see that it is a linear equation, and for different values of n you are going to get different solutions. So, now we can write that final solution u prime as summation of all the solutions for n is equal to 1 to infinity, right, and that we can write, because we can just summing up all the solutions, and that we can write as the governing equation is linear. Okay. So, now we can write that u prime y t is equal to, now we are writing summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity, that we can write. Now, we have C naught and C 1. So, that we will write B n as C naught n into C 1 n, two constants we are together writing B n. So, B n sin lambda n y, and we have e to the power minus lambda n square nu t, where lambda n is equal to n pi by h and n is 1 to infinity. So, now we need to find the other constant b n, and that we will find applying the initial condition and applying the orthogonal property. Okay. So, now from here if you put the initial condition that at t is equal to 0 u prime is equal to u y by h, right. So, if you put it here, so left hand side you will get u y by h is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity b n sin lambda n y, and as t is equal to 0. So, this will become 1. Okay. So, b n sin lambda n y. So, you can see that this is the sine Fourier series. Okay. This is sine Fourier series, and now we will take the advantage of the orthogonality property and we will find the constant b n. Okay. If you can see that multiply both sides by sin lambda m y dy and integrating from 0 to h, okay, where lambda m is nothing but m pi by h. Okay. And now multiply, and you can see that sin lambda n y and sin lambda m y are orthogonal to each other. Okay. So, now in the left hand side you will get 0 to h u y by h sin lambda m y dy is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity b n integral 0 to h sin lambda m y sin lambda n y dy. Okay, because for different values of n you will get. So, we have already discussed this while discussing about the orthogonal property. So, now you can see that this sin lambda m y and sin lambda n y are orthogonal to each other. So, you will get 0 to h sin lambda m y sin lambda n y is equal to 0 for n not equal to m. Okay. So, for n is equal to m you will only get the solution. So, for n is equal to m, now all other terms in the right hand side will become 0, okay, invoking this orthogonal property. So, what you will get in the right hand side, and now you can find the b n. So, you can write now n is equal to m you can write. So, you can write b n. So, already this we have seen that b n will be just integral 0 to h u y by h, and this we will write lambda n because n is equal to m. So, we can write sin lambda n y dy, and in the denominator we will have 0 to h. So, it will be sin square lambda n y dy. Okay. So, now we have to find these integrals in the numerator and denominator, then we can find the constant b n, and once you know the b n you will be able to find u prime, and once you know the u prime you can find the tangent velocity profile. So, we can write now b n. Okay. So, you can write that u by h is constant. So, you can take outside the integral 0 to h y sin lambda n y dy divided by 0 to h sin square lambda n y dy. Okay. So, first find this denominator, this integral. So, you can see 0 to h sin square lambda n y dy, we can write half into 2 sin square lambda n y, and 2 sin square lambda n y we can write as 1 minus cos 2 lambda n y dy, and if you find the integral, so it will be half y minus sin 2 lambda n y divided by 2 lambda n limits 0 to h. So, if you put y is equal to 0, so obviously this will become 0, and y is equal to h, you can see 2 lambda n h, and lambda n h is equal to n pi, okay, and n 1 2 3 to infinity. So, if you put it, so y is equal to h, also this term will become 0. So, hence you will get h by 2. So, here you are going to get h by 2, and in the numerator now we have to use integration by parts, integral y sin lambda n y dy. So, if you use integration by parts, so what you will get? So, first we will not write the limits, first find the integral. So, you can see that this will be y, then integral sin lambda n y dy, that will be minus cos lambda n y divided by lambda n minus integral. Now, the derivative of this y, so dy by dy, so it will be 1, and this you will get again minus cos lambda n y by lambda n, because integral sin lambda n y dy dy. Okay. So, we can see this we will write minus y cos lambda n y divided by lambda n, and this now again if you take the integral of cos lambda n y, you will get sin lambda n y by lambda n. So, this minus minus it will become plus sin lambda n y divided by lambda n square. So, now if you find putting the limits, so you will get y sin lambda n y dy. So, if you put the limits minus y cos lambda n y by lambda n from 0 to h. So, these are the limits plus sin lambda n y by lambda n square limits 0 to h. First, let us see the second term in the right hand side. So, you can see at y is equal to 0, obviously sin 0 is 0, and y is equal to h, lambda n h. So, sin lambda n h is 0. So, this term will become 0, and in the only this term will remain, and you can see that you will get at y is equal to h. So, it will be minus h cos lambda n h by lambda n, and if you put minus this limit y is equal to 0. So, y is equal to 0. So, this term will become 0. So, this you will get now you can see h by lambda n, okay. Here it is 1 minus 1 and cos lambda n h. Okay. So, what is cos lambda n h? Okay. Cos lambda n h is equal to cos n pi, because lambda n h is equal to n pi. So, lambda cos n pi. So, cos n pi. So, if n is equal to 1, cos pi minus 1, okay. Then n is equal to 2, cos 2 pi. So, it will be 1, again 3 pi minus 1. So, you can see this will be minus 1 to the power n, because for n is equal to 1 it is minus 1, n is equal to 2 it will become plus 1, n is equal to 3 it will become minus 1. So, this we are writing minus 1 to the power n. Hence, you can write h by lambda n divided h by lambda n minus 1 to the power n plus 1. So, now we have found the numerator and denominator this integral. Now, you put and find the value of b n. So, now b n will be u by h, okay. So, it is u by h. This integral in the numerator we have h by lambda n minus 1 to the power n plus 1, h by lambda n minus 1 to the power n plus 1 divided by, in the numerator we have h by 2, h by 2, okay. So, from here you can see that we will get b n as twice u, okay, by lambda n h minus 1 to the power n plus 1. Okay. So, now once you know B n, now you can find the velocity u prime y t is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity, put the value of B n. So, it will be twice u by lambda n h minus 1 to the power n plus 1, and we have sin lambda n y, then e to the power minus lambda n square nu t, where lambda n is equal to n pi by h and n varies from 1 to infinity. So, now you can see we have found the tangent part of this velocity u prime y t, and now if you put it in the final expression, then you will be able to find the solution for u as function of y and t. So, final velocity distribution so what we will get u y t as u y by h. So, this is the solution from the steady part, and from here you will get minus twice u by lambda n, if you put lambda n h, if you put n pi. Okay. So, you will get pi here, okay, lambda n h we are putting n pi. So, it will be pi here, summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity. So, we will get minus 1 to the power n plus 1 and divided by n. Okay. From n pi we will write, we are writing n here, then sin n pi y by h and e to the power minus n square pi square by h square, okay, and nu t. Okay. So, you can see this is the final velocity distribution, and as t tends to infinity, this right hand side term will become 0 and you will get a steady solution. So, this is the tangent velocity profile for tangent plane coed flow. So, if you solve it and plot u by u versus y by h at different time instances. So, you can see at t is equal to 0, only 0 velocity everywhere. As t progresses, okay, this velocity you can see how it is evolving with time. Okay. So, inside the domain this velocity profile is evolving, and at t tends to infinity you will get this velocity profile, which is your linear velocity profile. So, this is the solution for steady plane coed flow, but at t tends to infinity, solving this problem you will get linear velocity profile, and if you go beyond this t, obviously there will be no change in the velocity profile. Okay. So, this is the temporal evolution of velocity profile you can see, and if you see the animation, so you can see how with time this velocity is evolving, and at t tends to infinity it is becoming linear. Okay. So, it is becoming almost linear. You can see how the temporal evolution of this velocity profile is happening. Okay. Now, quickly let us discuss the solution of tangent plane Poiseuille flow. So, plane Poiseuille flow already you know the solution, right, and velocity profile is parabolic profile, and that solution you know. But if the problem, if we consider that at t is equal to 0, the fluid medium is stationary, and suddenly there is a imposed pressure gradient del p by del x at t 0 plus, then obviously there will be temporal evolution of this velocity profile, and at t tends to infinity it will become parabolic in nature. So, similar way whatever we have discussed for plane coed flow, tangent plane coed flow. So, similar method you can use with proper boundary conditions, you can use superposition technique, then you can use separation of variables method and convert the partial differential equation to ordinary differential equations, then find the solution. So, here also we will see that we will take one part as a steady solution where t tends to infinity, and that solution you know as it is a parabolic profile, and another tangent profile we will subtract, and you will find the that velocity using separation of variables method. So, we will not go into detail, just I will write the final solution. So, you can see our governing equation, obviously here there is a imposed pressure gradient and it is constant. Okay. So, we can write the governing equation as rho del u by del t is equal to minus del p by del x. This pressure gradient is constant, and we have this viscous term mu del 2 u by del y square. What are the boundary conditions? At y is equal to h, u is equal to 0, and at y is equal to 0. So, you can see this is the coordinate we have taken. Y is measured from the central line. Okay. So, x is the axial direction and the distance between two plates is 2h, and plates are stationary. Okay. So, at y is equal to 0, you can see that this is the central line, and we know that maximum velocity will occur at the central line. So, we can say that the gradient del u by del y will be 0, and initial condition is at t is equal to 0, the velocity is 0 everywhere. Okay. So, now if you solve this problem, then we can write u the solution for this problem as solution of u bar y infinity, which is your steady solution, minus u prime y t. Okay. Whatever way we have solved the earlier problem, that you can use, and you know this solution, you find this solution, final solution you will get u y t as h square by twice mu minus del p by del x, steady solution 1 minus y square by h square, this is the parabolic profile you know, minus 32 by pi cube summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity minus 1 to the power n plus 1 divided by twice n minus 1 cube, then cos 2 n minus 1 pi by 2 y by h, and e to the power minus twice n minus 1 square pi square divided by 4 h square nu t. So, this is the final solution. Okay. And obviously, at t tends to infinity, this right hand side term will become 0, and you will get a steady velocity profile. Now, you can see the evolution of the velocity towards the parabolic steady state profile. So, you can see at different time instances we have plotted this u x divided by u bar x. So, x means this is velocity profile in x direction, and this is the steady state velocity profile. So, and versus y by h, this is the central line, and central line obviously you are getting maximum velocity, and you can see that as time increases, okay, how the temperature, how the velocity profile is evolving towards the parabolic profile. So, this is the steady velocity profile, okay, which is parabolic. Okay. So, you can see how the velocity profile is evolving with time. So, in today's class we considered tangent plane coed flow, and we discussed about the separation of variables method. We can use separation of variables method if the governing equations are linear and homogeneous, and boundary conditions in one direction it is homogeneous and in other direction it may be non-homogeneous, and in homogeneous direction we should have finite length. So, for our problem we have splitted this tangent plane coed flow into two problems. One problem is the steady state plane coed flow, where you know the velocity profile is linear, and minus we have subtracted one tangent velocity profile, and obviously as t tends to infinity that will become 0. Then we have used the boundary condition for this tangent part u prime, and you know that boundary condition became homogeneous in y direction, and we use the separation of variables method, and we have chosen the values of lambda n square such that in homogeneous direction the equation becomes a characteristic value problem, and from there we have found the periodic solution in y direction. So, after applying the boundary conditions and initial conditions using the orthogonality property, we have solved the constants, and finally we have shown the temporal evolution of the velocity profile for the tangent plane Couette flow. Next we discussed about the tangent plane Poiseuille flow. Similar way you can solve with proper boundary conditions, and we have also shown the velocity profile, tangent velocity profile for the problem tangent plane Poiseuille flow. Thank you.